Come on, you guys. Let's go. Oh, Enzo Maresca. Oh, Enzo Maresca. Honestly, man, life is good at this football club right now. I remember all the struggle seasons. I remember all the hardships in recent years. The difficulties. Bro, finally, things are making sense again at this football club. It's been a long time coming. We've suffered. We've been through it. But we're finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And the light's shining off from Maresca's bold ass head because honestly, I've been praising him. I have to. But he just constantly keeps making the right decisions. Today, to rotate the team, which is the right thing to do because we have a massive game against Spurs to really send a message now to the rest of the league. It was the right decision to make. But this decision wasn't just a hunch or him kind of taking a risk. This is a process. A lot of these rotational guys, I'm going to have respect. I'm not going to call them B team players. They're too good to be B team. The rotational options at the moment, they've had a lot of license to understand the system now, playing in the Conference League. And I felt like we've been seeing two lineups for domestic games and international games because Maresca is thinking about the long game. And that long game is once we get to December, once we get to the second half of the season, I'm going to have to turn to using more of my squad because the games are coming thick and fast. And I think today was a great success for the long-term process and the not game management, the man management, the managerial abilities of Maresca. Like, he's making things look a bit too simple with his decision-making. After every game, I'm like, that's why he did that. That's why we turned towards doing this. This is why this guy's playing over that guy. It is all making sense right now. And yeah, it's crazy that for a guy with as little experience as him currently is making decisions seem so natural and so common sense like. Yeah, let's not take this guy for granted at all because, yeah, we're scoring the goals, man. A lot of people had fears that Maresca comes here will be sorry 2.0, possession this, possession that. Nah. You are listening to disgruntled, stupid Leicester City fans who took for granted what he was building with their team last season. We are scoring goals for fun now. Today, the funny thing is that this should not have been 5-1. This was like an 8-1 win today. We hit the post like 3 times. It was incredible how long it took for us to score the 4th goal. It was funny because in a sense, Southampton defended well, but didn't defend well. As a team, they were awful. But when they were forced into these like man-on-man type of actions, they were producing some insane last-ditch tackles, incredible saves and point-blank ranges and distances, and really were just kind of trying to just stifle and ruin our party. But in the end, I just felt like, listen, Southampton, even though I'll give them credit for still being brave, still wanting to play whatever football there is they're trying to play, they committed to their methods. And I like when teams do that, in my opinion. But yeah, it was too much quality. The goal from class was that good. And the moment they gifted us the game, I mean, actually, Southampton gave us so many gifts today that they're the team that, they really embody what Christmas spirit is about, right? You know what I mean? But yeah, the moment Stephens gets himself sent off, one of the stupidest decisions of this season. It was like a moth being attracted to the light. I can imagine lots of players have wanted to, yank Cucurella's hair, right? I mean, it's bobbing here, it's bobbing there, it's getting in your face. When you're defending against him from set pieces, I'm sure you're like literally like flossing your teeth with his hair. That's how tight and close he's getting to you. I get it. At some point, someone was going to get pissed off with getting his hair in his eyes. And you're going to be like, you know what? Get a haircut. That's what that yank was. Get a haircut. I don't know what I'm doing with my hand then. He took the bait. I'm Cucurella, instantly, okay, amigo. Now I can start showing off my Oscar skills. And yeah, great performance from him. And it was just kind of typifies Southampton. But when you're playing against a team like us now, a team like us where if you're going to give us advantages, we are going to take them. If you're going to give us gifts and presents, we will happily accept them how they come. It just really just sums up the golfing mentality we're seeing this season compared to last season. And we are starting to really look like we are now a serious football club now with serious ambitions. I mean, I love that as the game started, we didn't have to play our best football to take the leads. And I say this because throughout the last 2, 3 years, it felt like if we weren't playing out of our skins, we just wouldn't get W's, we wouldn't get points, we wouldn't get results or wins because Southampton started the game the stronger team. They weren't afraid to commit the press towards us. They were aggressive. They forced a lot of errors. I felt like our tempo was quite slow to begin with. But we were able to break the deadlock yet again in the 7th minute with a great set piece from Enzo Fernandez to find Disasi. You know, you see Disasi's reaction when he celebrates. Of course, in the press recently has come out that he's last in the pecking order and Maresca doesn't rate him because he lacks technical capacity, which just baffles me. Listen, if he said he's not mobile, I believe you. If you tell me that he's got no technique, I think the reporter must have definitely misheard something. But that was a reaction to be like, yo, don't be talking down on my game. And I'm sure he'll get a lot of clubs sniffing around his ears now in the January window. But Southampton reacted. And I think one of the most dangerous players we were up against was actually Kyle Walker-Peters. One of the most fascinating players in the league, actually, you know, equally good on the left and on the right, inverts, overlaps. It feels like if Southampton get relegated, for sure, he'll be playing for a top 10 team at least in this country. I thought his perseverance to create the equaliser, it was deserved. And Enzo on 2 occasions got beat by Walker-Peters, which was a bit poor in my opinion. And when they equalised with his cutback cross inside the box, I thought to myself, please, this can't be one of those games where Southampton kind of just ruin the spirits right now because, yeah, they've been the whipping boys in the league. And if we're not going to, you know, be getting our licks in on Southampton tonight, something's going wrong. So, I don't know, the first 10 minutes got me a little bit worried. But then all of a sudden, an amazing, incredible gift yet again from Southampton, one of the most holistic teams in the league. You know, great pressing from Madueke then, who's on things. He gets on top of Walker-Peters. Terrible decision-making from their goalkeeper to even attempt to play the pass to Peters when his blind side was getting pressed. Noddy wins the ball, releases it straight to Nkunku, and of course, Nkunku doesn't have to see where the net is to score a goal. And I think at this rate, he still continues as our leading scorer. Now, I'm going to say very quickly, I've always felt very sympathetic towards Nkunku because if he didn't get the injuries last season, I think he's seen in a much more esteemed light. And I don't know, I just think there's just one fascinating thing about his game I like, because he's a very intelligent player. We're saying this on stream. You know, he plays the game at his own pace, which makes him very difficult to suss out. Like, for example, you know, you could see Nkunku playing the game on 3rd gear. And then all of a sudden, he has these moments where he explodes into 1st gear and his dribbling turns into Messi. He's producing the 5 stars out from nowhere in the skillful moments. So he's accelerating into the spaces, looking at one of the fastest players on the field in between defenses. And he was at the heart of a lot of the good things that we did in this game. But I just felt like, you know, if the team maybe understood him more, and Nkunku, he probably should have got 2 goals or even 3 if he gets found a bit more. So let's see, as the second half of the season approaches, if we now see Nkunku now introduced into this team a lot more. But obviously, if we're making it 2-1 and then Stefan's getting himself sent off, the game was basically done and dusted. It's nice that we make it 3-1 before the half ends. I thought Madueke, great goal, opening his body up, bottom left corner. And obviously, from this part now, I'm going to start praising Madueke. So if you're someone that doesn't like him, if you're someone that's told yourself, oh, Neto's levels over him, Madueke is too selfish, he's this, he's too Mandem FC, you know, he braids, whatever. Thank you for watching up to this far in this video. Enjoy your night, enjoy the highlights. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the What We Learn video. But for you guys that are still here, I feel very justified in my praise for Madueke. You know, I'm not going to be accepting this nonsense I see from this fan base every year, man. Oh, there's always got to be a scapegoat. You know, there has to be that one player that absorbs all the team's small negative points, and he then becomes the scapegoat for all those actions. No, I keep hearing all this stuff about Noddy being too selfish, not defending as good now. I think to myself, what utter nonsense. You know, I don't know what people are seeing when they tell themselves this stuff, but honestly, when you watch to hate and when you just watch to find the negative, it's no surprise why inconsequential things then become a lot bigger than they actually are. No one cares if Palmer takes a short extra or tries a crazy pass that he shouldn't do, or when other players do stuff of that nature. But for Madueke, the moment he makes one mistake, people are onto him. I'm not having that, because normally when people do that, it's not even about the player at that point. It's just about this parasocial, weird type of nonsense that I'm not here for. Listen, Madueke showed again for me why he's our strongest and best option at right wing. I like Neto on the left. I said it. I like when they're both occupying the flanks. And I think against Spurs, I'm going to see Neto on the left, Noni on the right hand side. And I love the balance that both these guys bring to the team. But I just think on the right hand side, Noni edges it for me. I think he's the best finisher we have down the right hand side. I love his combination plays with Palmer. He works hard for the team. And this nonsense about him being a selfish player, how many times did he set up teammates in this game alone? Oh, Nini, it's Southampton. Why are you gassing it for? You know, like when players find themselves in these types of, never say, in these lose-lose scenarios, it doesn't matter what team he's playing against. There'll always be something for the naysayers to say, but I'm sorry, yeah. Madueke needs to get a lot of credit for his game from being that kid that played with his head down, that took too many touches, that never dragged back, that was always slowing the play down, that was taking too many extra touches. As I said, look at the difference you're seeing in this game. It's literally night and day. You can't be saying all this stuff about him being selfish. Update your firmware now, for God's sake. Update your firmware, yeah? Noni 1.0, that was a thing in the past. It's Noni 3.0 right now, yeah? It's coming into his third season, and we're seeing the strides and developments in his overall game as an all-round good football player. And all I can simply say is there is a reason why Maresca still keeps playing Noni as his number one right winger. So maybe it's time to update your firmware. For myself, he was the man of the match today, even though, listen, there was one moment he should have made it 2-1, of course, the Cucurella, brilliant ball to the far post to find Noni. I just felt like Noni in that moment, you needed a bit more conviction in your shot, really get your foot behind the ball, and I think you could have made that your second goal in the game. But for the other moments, I think there were an incredible save from the keeper and an incredible last-ditch tackle when Madueke was through on goal, open goal, of course, deflected short, and Manning with an incredible last-ditch save. But again, no one cares about the details, right? But for me, yeah, man of the match today. And from that moment on, yeah, it was just about waiting for that fourth goal. And it finally came. And we got that fourth goal in a very funny fashion. Of course, it's that, man, who else is it going to be? Cole Palmer. I thought, again, another excellent move to break down and play through Southampton. I think in terms of our XG against Southampton today, it was absolutely nuts. We were carving them open for fun at times. And as I said, this game easily could have been like 8-1, 7-1 in our favour. I think our XG was 5.29 to Southampton's 1.47. So, it's a fair result and reflection, but it doesn't paint the full picture. But, of course, Palmer with probably the easiest score he'll ever score for us in his career here. He had to take that shot away from Nkunku to guarantee it goes in the net, especially with the amount of times Southampton kept making these, world-class last-ditch tackles against us. And, I'm always happy when Palmer is registering assists and goals. Very happy with that. And then once made it 4, the fifth was guaranteed. And it was nice that Jadon Sancho scored his first goal in a Chelsea shirt. I love his shooting technique then, to go for the near post then and put some power and weight behind that shot. It was the right decision to beat the keeper at the near post. And we even had moments, a few counter-attacks, maybe to even get the sixth goal near the end. So right now, you're seeing a team full of happy players. You're seeing a manager that trusts his squad. I mean, the fact that he could introduce so many changes, especially giving opportunities to your Disassis, Tolsons, etc., in a Premier League game, it speaks volumes about how he feels with the squad at this point in time. At times, Southampton probably could have maybe got more goals in this game. We can thank Jorgensen, because I have to end the review by discussing how he played today. I think if there was one player that was going to make Maresca think the most, it is going to be Jorgensen, because he made the most important save of this entire game in literally the first minute of the game. Point blank save from Southampton. We got carved up again, another cutback cross inside the box. I feel like the rotation defense, they still kind of struggle when it comes to blocking out those opportunities compared to the first team defense. But Jorgensen produced that save twice in the game, one in the first half, once again in the second half. And this was his first proper moment to show Maresca, listen, my form isn't just for the Conference League. I can perform at a higher level. you know what I can do? This moment he took today with both hands is going to make Maresca think quite a lot, because it's still a very long season. And as we approach the second half of next season, I think we could see a real battle in our hands between Jorgensen and Sanchez for the #1 spot. So, yeah, my friends, as always, interesting talking points. Stay tuned for tomorrow's What We Learned video. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Hit that like button, go absolutely crazy with things. And on that note, I am Nini FC. This is Blue Lines TV. See you all soon tomorrow. Cool.